Alright, let's continue. I should default to the tab that I was on. Maple, am I correct in thinking the lion is only meant to have one tail? You are, but this one has two. I can't believe you almost stabbed me. I'm sorry. I'm too used to it. It was a really expensive plate though. Yeah. It's like a really high quality plate. In fact, everything except the tea set depicts a lion with two tails. Hudson, may I ask a question about this cup? Actually, I'd like to ask you something myself first. I get it. You hurt us because you care, and you want us to think about you every time we hurt. Exactly! That's exactly why I like hurting you. Yeah, let me hurt you. Let me hurt you. I hurt you because I care about you. Chat. Every time you look at the scar that's on you from me stabbing you, it'll remind you of me and make you like me, right? It's 'cause I care about you. It's 'cause I care about you, chat. Dun, 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 dun. Ow. Yeah, now you'll think of me whenever you look at that scar that I just left you, right? This is not an abusive relationship. Trust. Exactly. It's not an abusive relationship. I just love you. Watson quickly led me and Maple outside for some privacy. Is something wrong? What is love? Bunny just hurt me. Just hurt me. Once more. Damn, the medical bills are gonna be really bad. Don't worry. I'll pay for them. I'll nurse you back to health. Only to stab you like a month later. Well, you see, something doesn't add up. She's telling us that the stolen plate is genuine. I can't help but think. I know it's been bothering me. The cup and saucer are false. The cup and saucer are both counterfeit, right? Thank God for Union Healthcare. They aren't, as it so happens. Those are very genuine. Oh, whoops, hold on, let me just fix that and be right. I did not give you the wrong answer. The plate that was stolen is actually a counterfeit. It's the cup and saucer that are genuine Regal Daltons. Free health insurance? Hell yeah. Does that include dental in this arrangement? Yeah, of course, because I like breaking your teeth on occasion. I force you to eat my cooking, and then it breaks your teeth. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Here, let me fix that for you. That's right, but she's been convinced otherwise ever since she was a child. She doesn't have a clue. Interesting that the culprit chose to steal the plate in this case. Oh my god, since when did Elia become British? Oh no, it's Tuesday, innit? Wait, no, it's Wednesday, shit. Heck yeah, I hope I get lots from the Tooth Fairy. Elia, the connoisseur of curb stomping. Exactly. I got what do you call it? I got a master's in kicking people's asses. I have an idea who the thief could be then. Who could have stolen the plate? A burglar interested in antiques? Oh fuck, am I wrong again? Must have been a burglar with an eye for antiques. Hold on. Oh, I don't know which one it is. I'm gonna go with burglar because the only people close to her are Holmes and Watson, so that doesn't make sense. If that were the case, why not steal the genuine Regal Dalton tableware? Anyways, that last stabbing reminded me of the time I got stabbed in-game. Oh, what happened? Oh, I was wrong. Oh no. I don't want to see sad Emily. It had to be someone close to her. That's why they chose to steal something important to her over something of monetary value. I was brutally betrayed that day, and thus I will never forget that time I got stabbed. Who betrayed you? That's how I see it. A burglar would have targeted something they could sell. But that begs the question, why steal it at all? If we stayed outside for much longer, Hudson would grow suspicious, so we decided to go back inside. And upon our return, as if it had only just come to her, Marple suddenly began to share an old tale. I'm reminded of a similar story from my grandmother. The case of the Benjamin family, if you've ever heard of it. Oh? Do tell! It happened in her home village of St. Mary Mead. The Benjamin family ran the only shop in the village. A friend of mine, they were angry that I had stolen his pet axolotl and grew a random tree on top of his house. Oh, is this in Minecraft? If it was there, then what does this have to do with here? I'm sure she'll get to that. Just keep listening. Oh, alright. If they can't protect their axolotl, then they don't deserve it. Exactly. Like this case, tableware had been stolen. It was the culprit who later claimed to have found it before promptly returning it safely to its owner, earning a considerable reward in the process. Oh. I can't believe they were mad I had done mischief. How could they betray me like that? I guess they did their own mischief then. So they set the whole thing up for a reward. That's smart. I mean, not that I would do that, but that's kind of smart. That's right. I wouldn't be able to tell the full tale if the truth hadn't come out at some point, of course. They were later ostracized for their actions. They need a lava fountain over their house in retaliation. The owner of the tableware was a kind soul, however, and they forgave the thief for their crime. I was about to say average Mexican interaction, but I just remembered that in Mexico they ask you which one you want inside, the blade or the penis. And ever since then, I knew I wasn't gay. Are you telling us all this because it might be what's happening to me? It's one option, though it's still too early to say for certain. We can't yet dismiss that we might be dealing with an honest-to-goodness theft. Wait! I've got a brilliant theory of my own! Will you hear it? That's evil, but I prefer to grow a bunch of spruce trees over their house like a beacon, especially since they lived in a birch forest. Anyways, I gotta go back to work. Have a good day at work, Galax. See you later. By all means. The plate that was stolen was a Regal Dalton original, and one of the finest in the land. She enthusiastically produced a newspaper and folded it over the table. They might need a few small cart tracks under their home. A gentleman thief, Lupin Jr., targets another British national treasure. Is being beautiful a crime? His list of stolen antiques says yes. This woman is so angry. I have not seen a sprite that wasn't at minimum incredulous. I mean, she just got shit stolen from her. Can you blame her? Isn't that an issue of the London Sport? You're aware of how infamous it is for the rubbish it publishes, I'm sure. I should hope you aren't taking anything it says to heart. His son, Lupin III, is pretty cool. But look, this bit right here! He's even started saying his sights on the treasures looking in ordinary British homes! Readers beware! This must be it! Dear. It pains me to say this after the work you've put in, Hudson, but I doubt Lupin Jr. is the culprit. Agreed. I'd also recommend you stop reading that newspaper immediately. It's for your own good. If this was modern day, Hudson would be an Andrew Tate subscriber. But that plate is a national treasure! Why, if I were a gentleman thief, I wouldn't dare turn down a chance to steal it. Perhaps, but he wouldn't make a mess of a young lady's room in the process. That's simply not the way he does things. From what I've observed of his thefts, at any rate. Yeah, you got to know him real intimately. Well, there must be some explanation. With no defense left to her claim, Hudson grew quiet. This conversation wasn't without its results, at least. We now knew that the best place to start our search would be with the people closest to her. Let's start our investigation. Would it be alright if we borrowed a list of the current tenants? Of course. I only ask that you keep its contents private. Not to worry, we will. Hudson went over to the shelf and pulled a handful of documents from it, which she then displayed for our perusal. You want the current list, which is this one. Oh, we should probably get the past list too. Thank you. Oh? What's that one over there? I was drawn not to the one she displayed most prominently, but to a second sheet, one that looked ever so slightly aged compared to the other. This one? It's the previous tenant list. We used to have 2 more flats filled than we do now. I see. Might we look at that one as well, as a precaution? I don't see the harm in it. Mind you, I can't see it being relevant to your investigation. No reason not to start with the current list of things as things stand, but better to be thorough. Ooh, is it time to start questioning people? May I join in? Aye. Would it do for the landlady to leave the building unattended? These are special circumstances, and that ring means you would never abandon someone in need, right? Oh, evening! Evening, All Hallows Eve! Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Never ever leave the investigation to me. Then logic dictates. I did not say that right. Dictates you'll need a capable assistant. Holmes has Watson, but you don't have anyone. I have my girlfriend. An assistant? What a thought. A fine thought, even. It'd be wonderful to have someone like Watson helping me. Yes, you need someone who's considerate, courageous, someone who can make rational decisions when the time calls for it. Are you trying to become my assistant, Hudson? Truly, that does sound wonderful, but it would not be easy to find someone like that. Point! It's a good thing you don't have to search then. From now on, I'm your assistant. Hudson, you can't force her into it. And why not? I'd give everything to solve this case together. Maybe so, but you're the client in this case. It's much too dangerous to be coming with us when we might come across a thief. And what if they were to come back when they see the flat is empty? We've nothing to fear. Not with you as a wall to shield us from the danger. A wall? Why not something more like a gallant knight? I'd even settle for something resembling a human. You'll come to my defense, won't you, Emily? I'd say we're ready as can be. Remember to arrive promptly tomorrow, Watson. We can't do this without you. Yeah, where is Holmes? Are you ignoring me? Holmes hasn't been around for a bit now. We gathered in the office the very next day, each of us eager to begin our investigation. It's kind of funny, because I saw like Holmes as probably like the main boy of this game, but it feels more like Watson is the main boy, with how much we hang out with him. Today's the day. Now, where shall we start? Let's get through the list of tenants first, then we can decide. Hudson produced the list from her bag. First, we have Mr. Curtis, who lives in the innermost room. He's a kindly old man. He used to play with me a lot when I was a little girl. Oh, thank you for the heart, pats, Dr. Smog. Thank you, thank you. Of all the tenants here, he's lived here the longest. Very good. Has anything been out of the ordinary with him lately? Ooh, excuse me. With him? There is one thing. He's been a bit slow with paying his rent. Last month's and the months before that one, to be more specific. Do you have a GOG account, Starfeet? I don't think I do. Do I? I don't know. I don't know if I made one in the past or not. I don't think I do. Thinking about it, I've yet to receive this month's too. So he's likely having financial problems? It's possible. Next, there's the avid traveler, Mrs. Blaze. She went on holiday to Italy a week ago and came back this morning. If that's true, then she has a flawless alibi. But we still ought to see if she has anything to add whilst confirming her story. My, you're an excellent detective, Emily. You're leaving no stone unturned.
ええ、旅行に行ったふりをするのは簡単だし、もしかしたら何か情報を聞けるかもしれないわ。
Well, it isn't difficult to pretend that you've gone on holiday when you haven't. Even if she did, there's a chance she may have relevant information to pass along.
確かに
Precisely. We'll see if she's got anything to say, and hopefully in the process see evidence of her travels.
そして、アトリー
Ooh,
夫人、
she's
おしゃべり
pretty.
が好きな方よ。
Lastly, we have Mrs. Atlee.
出張中って
She's
聞い
very
たわ。
talkative, that one. I hear her husband's abroad on work-related business. Has been for some time. Uh-oh.
お茶好きで、私が部屋へ行く
She
と
loves
ついおしゃべ
tea,
りが長く
making
なってし
sweets,
まうの。
and collecting
お菓
tableware.
子作りや
Whenever I
食器
see
遊び
her,
も好き
I
で、
always end up staying ages because we get caught up in conversation. Had a rough falling out with her husband, collects tableware. Uh-oh. It might be Atlee. Huh, I wonder who stole Hudson's tableware. I'm sure it's not the woman that likes collecting tableware.
食器集めが趣味。
She collects tableware, you say?
お皿のこと
Does she
も
know
よく
about
知
your
っている
plate?
のね。ええ、
Yes, she
私は彼女
does.
の家の
And
食
I
器
know
のこと
all
をよく
about
知って
her
いるから
collection as
お
well,
願い
of
するよ。
course.
さてと
Well, now we know who we'll be visiting. Any thoughts on who we should visit first, Emily? Let's visit Atlee.
食器
Mostly
集めが
because I
趣味だ
think she's
から
pretty.
アトリー夫人を伺ってみましょう。
Shall we go pay the tableware collector, Mrs. Atlee, a visit? We arrived at her flat and were, with enthusiasm, hastily invited inside. How much yaoi has happened? No yaoi, but plenty yuri.
ミス・ハドソンの食器といえば、あのロイヤルドルトンのフルーツフラワーのお皿のことね。
I assume you're talking about the Regal Dilton plate? The one with the floral and fruit design?
素敵よね。あのシックなフルーツフラワーの絵柄。思い出しただけで
Oh,
胸
I
が
like
ときめ
her
くわ。
voice. Oh, it was so very elegant. I'd love that piece with all my heart. Just thinking about it makes me want to gaze upon it again.
でもあのお皿、盗まれてしまったらしいわね。
And yet it was stolen, you say?
ええ、そうなの。私も自慢のお皿だったから。
It was. It had to be one of my most prized possessions.
いっそすがすがしいほど。
She's not hiding how fond of it she is.
いや魅力感じすぎじゃないかあれは
She seems a bit too fond of it, if I'm honest. She is pretty, for sure, yeah.
私が盗みたいくらい。
Well, it looks like her
いいえ、
husband
いっその
hasn't
こと
been coming
ミス・
home.
ハドソンを養子にしてでも手に入れたかったのに。
Maybe she'll be looking for a new husband soon. Well, I can certainly understand the thief's feelings, how I'd love to keep it all to myself. Or perhaps I can adopt you and obtain it that way.
アトリー夫人ったら相変わらずね。
You always say the most peculiar things.
私、ちょっと考えてみたんだけど、あんなに素敵なお皿だもの、きっと欲しい方はたくさんいたはずだわ。
Is it so peculiar? I dare say there are plenty who would trip over themselves to get their hands on a plate that's stunning. She seems so sus that I don't think that she is sus. Like, she's being so openly sus in a way that makes me be like, yeah, there's no way she's the one that stole it.
きっと、あの怪盗ル
Like
パン
that
に盗まれた
gentleman
んじゃ
thief
ないかしら。
Lupin, perhaps.
アパートにルパン。
Lupin? Coming here?
どうしてそんな。
What makes you think that?
まさか。
Ah,
オタクの
might you be an avid reader of the London sport as well?
まあ、ご
Oh,
存知でした
are
の？
we a fellow fan?
あなたもあ
Then you
の記
must
事
have
を
seen
ご覧
the
になったの
article to which I'm referring.
いいえ、残念ながら。
I'm afraid I haven't.
ハドソン。
Though I see now how you two became such good tea drinking
気が合う
companions.
わけだわ。
You think very much alike. You're both subscribed to Andrew Tate. I agree, she looks too suspicious to be a thief. Sussed her way out of suspicion. I guess that's a good way of like not being suspected is just be very blatantly suspicious.
あの、
That's a good
アトリー
idea.
夫人。大変失礼ですが。
Miss Atlee, forgive me for asking, but where were you the night before last?
ええ。両
My
親が遊び
parents
に
came
来てい
here
た
for
の
a
で、
visit.
ずっとお
So I
話
was
をし
with
ていたわ。
them. We greeted a police officer out on the street, as it so happens.
聞いてくれ
I'm
れば。
certain they would vouch for my credibility.
そうですか。
So they would.
もう
Hmm.
一点
Oh, would you mind if we asked one more thing?
はい。
Not at all.
何でしょう？
What is it?
ここ最近何か気になることとかありませんでしたか？
Have you noticed anything unusual?
気になること。あ、ありますわ。
Unusual? Aha! I may have.
だいたい1週間くらい前になるかしら。ハワードさんとアパートの前でばったり。
I'd placed it about a week ago. I ran into Mr. Howard in front of my flat. Oh, that's the grumpy looking guy? He did look a little sus just because, you know, devs of these games tend to give the sus person like a not conventionally attractive appearance.
ハワードおじさまと
Mr. Howard was here?
あら、ミス・ハドソンはお会いにならなかったの？ハドソンに聞きたいことがあるっておっしゃってたのよ。
Hmm? Did you not meet with him? He'd mentioned he had something he wanted to ask you. I'm so sus.
いいえ、会ってないわ。お約束もしてないもの。
Oh, feet cam. Okay, Billy. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Boom 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 boom. God, I really like this song. The song is just epitome of British music, I think. Hold on, I'm gonna cover Sky. Oh, where'd I go? Where'd I go? There we go. No, I didn't. He's not contacted me otherwise for meeting neither. Honestly, this hits the right vibes after watching a bit of Black Butler. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So even though he wanted to meet, he came and went without doing just that?
彼はハドソンに何が聞きたかったのかしら。
Was Jack the Ripper a character in Black Butler? I know it had the Grim Reaper, but I forget if Jack was a character too. I wonder what he wanted to ask her. I took a cursory glance at Mrs. Atlee's hands.
左の手のひらに包帯を巻いているわ。
Her left hand's wrapped in a bandage.
捜査へのご協力ありがとうございました。
Thank you for answering so many questions, Miss Atlee. I attempted to extend my hand to her as naturally as possible. Thankfully, she extended her own without hesitation, shaking my hand with fervor.
いいえ、大してお役に立てなくってごめんなさいね。
It was my pleasure. I only wish I could have helped more.
そんなことはありませんよ。それではこれで失礼します。
You've helped us more than enough. Have a lovely day then. We bade her farewell before leaving. Lord, that was an experience. After leaving Miss Atlee's flat, we all found ourselves feeling particularly tired. She was very sus, wasn't she?
そうね。実に変わった人だったわ。
She is an unusual one.
いや、君
You're the last one who had to call others unusual. Let's visit, I guess, Mr. Curtis.
カーティスさんの部屋に行ってみましょう。
I think we should pay Mr. Curtis a visit.
よく知ってい
He
るで
must
し
know
ょうし
Hudson the best of the three for one thing.
あの人、
I've spoken to him a few times before myself.
ちょっと苦手
I
でさ。
can't say I feel very comfortable around him.
なら
Would you prefer to stay here whilst we go and speak with him?
いや、俺も行くよ。
No, I'm coming.
レディーだけで行かせ
It
るわ。
wouldn't be right to send three ladies off without a gentleman to protect them. My pride as a man won't let me. See, Watson, this is why I'm going for your route.
そうよね。あなた
I should hope
食
not.
べたもの
We need our wall with us.
おいおいおい、
Not
待って。
that again, Marble. Yeah, we need our meat shield.
ちょっと二人とも待ってってば。
Wait for me. Wait.
ごめんください。
Hello? Is anyone home? I rapped at the door. It opened soon after I heard a series of gentle footsteps, revealing a stern-looking man with a furrowed brow.
一体何の用だ?
What business have you?
お休み中失礼します。こっちはセーラーマープル。
I hope we aren't disturbing you, sir. My name is Emily Whiteley, and this is Sarah Marple. We need someone to trip if we're getting chased.
こんにちは。
Alright, let me come back down. I've been up there long enough. Good day.
私たち、おとといの夜に起きたミス・ハドソン宅の窃盗についてお話を伺いたくて。
We're in the midst of investigating the burglary that took place in Mrs. Hudson's home 2 nights ago.
今、近隣の方々のお宅をお伺いしているところなんです。
We thought it might be best to begin by asking her neighbors. Hudson then emphatically popped from behind me.
こんにちは、カーティスさん。お話を聞かせてちょうだい。
Hello, Mr. Curtis. May we ask a few questions?
ああ、ミス・ハドソン。よく来たね。
Oh,
それで、
Miss Hudson.
聞きたい
You're
ことってい
looking well.
うのは?
What is it you'd like to ask? His voice sounds so familiar to me.
ありがとうございます。では、おとといの夜、何か気づいたことは？
Wonderful. First, did you notice anything out of the ordinary 2 nights ago? I feel like the old man is gonna develop dementia. I just conveniently forgot everything connected to this one thing, and that's it.
次に大きな音が聞こえた。
I most certainly did. Around 7 o'clock, I heard the sound of breaking glass not once but twice. The first time was fairly gentle, but the second was much louder.
失礼ですが、その時カーティスさんはどちらに？
And where were you at the time?
私は部屋で読書をしていたよ。足腰も悪いから、最近はあまり出歩かないんでね。
I was in my room reading. I'm not as sprightly as I once was, so I've not been going out much of late.
では、外出は全く？
So you didn't go out at all that day? Old bastard.
ああ、なんだ。わしを疑っているのか。まあ、ずっと一人だったから、アリバイはない。
No. Oh, am I a suspect? I was alone that night, so I have no alibi.
だが、誓ってわしじゃない。
But I swear on my life I didn't steal a thing.
わかってるわ、カーティスさん。
We know you didn't, Mr. Curtis. We're only trying to see what we can find out.
あの、
Um,
カーティスさん
have。you noticed anything else strange recently?
他に何か気になったことはありますか？
気になったこと。
Strange. Let's see.
そういえば、
There
前に
was
ハワー
when
ドが
Mr.
ミス・
Howard
ハド
came
ソ
to
ンを
visit
訪
you,
ねに来
Mrs.
ていた
Hudson.
な。
私を？
He did?
いつ
When
頃の
was
こと？
that? God, this guy keeps visiting and not telling us that he's visiting? Yeah, sus.
あれはそうだな。
A week ago, I'd
一週
say.
間ぐらい前だった
That
よう
was
な
around
気
the
がする
same
な。
time as the theft.
確かハドソンに
You
聞
mentioned
き
he
た
had
いこと
something
が
he
ある
wanted
と
to
か言っ
ask
てい
you.
たんだが。
Sus.
ハワードおじさまが？
That is awfully strange. I didn't hear him.
一週間前にはお
I
会いし
didn't
て
hear
ない
from
の？
him at all last week. He came to visit her but left before speaking to you?
彼はハドソ
I
ン
wonder
に
what he wanted to
何
ask
が聞
her.
きたかったのかしら。何か分かったらま
Well,
た教えて。
if you remember anything
私は
else, please
なく
come
な
and
った
let me
お皿を
know.
取り戻したい
I'm
の。
desperate to get my plate back.
ああ、約
I
束するよ、ミ
You
ス・
always
ハド
used to
ソン。
talk about it.
皿
I
の
know how
話は
precious
よく
it is
聞い
to
てい
you.
た
Oh,
しな。
girl, we need to teach you to not brag about the valuable thing that you own. Like, I'm not surprised she got it stolen. Trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, I chanced to glance at Mr. Curtis's hands. Huh, his hands are cut up too.
右手の指先に包帯が巻かれている。
Two of the fingers on his right hand are wrapped in bandages. He is very sus. I've heard of news about a Japanese ninja that eluded the police for months until he was caught, and it turned out he was an old grandpa, and he does have bandages on his hand. That's from throwing the shurikens, I bet.
ご協力ありがとうございまし
Well,
た。
thank you very much for your help. I extended my right hand to him, trying to act as naturally as possible.
ああ、あま
Anything
り
for
大
Miss
したことは
Hudson.
言えな
I
かっ
only
た
wish
か。
I had more to say. He took my hand and shook it firmly. Just a giant sign pointing directly at it and its worth. We then bid our farewells, but not before he used the same hand to give Hudson an affectionate pat on the head. Aww.
ハダさんが相手
He
だとは
softened right up once he saw you, didn't he? It's pretty late, so I'm off to bed. Rest well, guys. Yeah, see you later, Linux. Have a good night.
え、
I'll
調子がつ
probably
いてて
head
よ
to
かっ
bed
たでしょ？
soon, too. He did. See? I told you it was a good idea to have me as your assistant.
ハドさん、あなたのあの食器を
Finally, a happy
カーティス
sprite.
さんに見せたことがある？
One where she's not pissed off. Have you ever shown the plate to him before, Hudson?
いいえ、どうして？
No? Why?
それならいいの。なんでもないのよ。
Never mind. It was a random thought. Oh my god, the grande melt was so big. Ooh, got your money's worth then.
カーティスさんはハドソンのお皿の見た目を知らないのね。
So he doesn't know exactly what it looks like. Let's visit Mrs. Bloise. We went to visit Mrs. Bloise's flat.
まあ本当なの？ミス・ハドソンの部屋が荒らされたなんて。
Your room is vandalized. How that must have given you a fright.
それだけじゃないんです。お皿が1枚盗まれてしまって。
That's not all. One of her plates was stolen in the process.
前に話してくれたロイヤルドルトンのお皿ね。本当に素敵だったのに。
That regal Dalton plate, I take it? And a lovely one it was, too.
そうなの。でも、なんとか取り戻すわ。
That's the one, but I'll get it back. I swear to it.
ハダさん、本当に誰にでも自慢してたんだな、食器のこと。
You really did boast about it to everyone who could stand to listen, didn't you? I just noticed the title of the game. No wonder her plate got stolen after flaunting its value. Yep. Gotta give us a case.
本物の美は皆の目に触れてこそよ。お母さんだってそう言って私に自慢してたんだから。
True beauty needs to be seen by the masses. Mom always used to say the same when she was showing it off to me. Oh my god, your mom was showing it off too? I'm surprised it never got stolen sooner. She would be beside herself if she knew it'd been stolen.
無事戻るといいわね。でもベーカー街にはホームズもいるじゃない。彼には相談してみたの？
I do hope you find it, really I do. Have you thought to consult Holmes about it? He lives in one of your flats, doesn't he?
いいえ、私には名探偵の彼女がついているんですもの。そうだ、私彼女の助手になったのよ。
I don't need to. I have the celebrated detective Emily Whiteley on the case. And better yet, I'm her assistant now.
まあ、
My,
あなたは
aren't you one of Her
女王
Majesty's
陛下の探偵さん
detectives?
じゃない？
Miss Hudson
どう
won't
か
have a
ミ
thing
ス・
to
ハド
worry
ソンを
about with
助け
you
てあげて
here.
ね。
You'll try everything you can, I hope.
もちろんです。
Absolutely.
それ
That
で
said, would you mind if we
確認
confirmed
したいので
something?
すが、
You came back from your
旅行から戻ら
holiday
れたのは
earlier today, right?
今日のお昼で間違いないですか？
あら。
Oh dear.
まさか
Am I a possible
私を疑っているの？
suspect?
いえ、一応
Not at all,
皆
ma'am.
さんに
We're only asking around to see what we can learn.
わかった
Very
わ。
well. Hold
ちょっ
on
と
a
待ってね。
moment. She then reached within her handbag for a boat ticket and showed it to us.
これがそうよ。
Here's
一週間
something
前
if
の
it
日付のも
helps.
のと
The
今朝
outgoing
一番
journey
の
was
帰
a
りの
week
切符。
ago, as marked here, and I returned on the first vessel that left this morning.
確かに
Hmm.
消印もある
This has an official seal and everything. It's valid.
ブロワさん、
Might we ask you one more
もう
thing
一
then?
つお伺い。
ええ、構いませんよ。
Ask me anything you'd like.
ここ最近で
Have you noticed anything strange or out of the ordinary?
そうね。今日の朝までここを離れていたから
そうは言われて
Well,
も
it's hard to say with having been away.
そう
The
い
only
え
thing
ば
that comes to
旅
mind
行に
is
行く前
Miss
の日だった
Reston
かしら
visiting right
レスト
before
ン
I
さんが
left.
このアパートにいらっ
Was
しゃっ
it
てて
oh, the day before?
窓の外から
I
ちょっと
hadn't
見かけ
engaged
た
her
だけ
in
だった
any
のだけ
way.
ど
Only
ミス
saw
ハ
her
ドソ
from
ン
the
はお会いに
window.
なりました？
Did she come to visit you, Miss Hudson?
いいえ、会ってないわ。
She didn't know. That's another person that visited without telling?
そうだったの？私、てっきりミスハドソンにご用事かと思っていたのだけど。
Really? I assumed she must have had business with you.
ミスハドソンのお部屋の前にいらっしゃったから。
Did like a gang break into my house? I distinctly recall her standing in front of your flat.
なるほど。お話ありがとうございました。
I see. Thank you for your help.
いいえ、どういたしまして。
I'm glad to have been of service.
そうそう、これお土産。アーモンドのビスコッティよ。皆さんでどうぞ。
Wait, before you go, I bought some almond biscotti for you as a souvenir. By all means, share them with your friends. I'm sorry, ma'am. After playing this game long enough, I've come to distrust any food given to me by a woman. I'm sorry.
ありがとう。これコーヒーに浸して食べるのよね。紅茶に浸しても美味しいかしら。
How sweet! You really do spoil me. These are meant to be dipped in coffee, aren't they? I wonder if they'll taste good with tea instead. You should have it tested for poison first, Hudson.
ええ、きっと美味しいわ。
Oh, I'm certain they will. We accepted her souvenir, and then, after bidding her a fond farewell, we stepped out of the room.
それじゃあ今の状況を整理しようか。
Shall we go over what we know so far?
おととい、ハドソンが家を開けたのは6時から9時の間。
On the day
ガ
of
ラ
the
スの割れ
crime,
た音が聞こえた
Hudson
の
was
は
out between 6 and 9. Mr. Curtis heard the sound of glass breaking around 7.
カーティスさんによると、最初に小さく、次に大きな音で2回聞こえた。
He also claims he heard the sound of it breaking twice. The first time gently, the second time loudly. Just ignore the skull and crossbones. It's just for looks, I promise.
それから
Yeah, it really livens up the place, doesn't
取
it?
られたのはお皿、それから割れた窓ガラス。
Also, is that a gun? Like next to the desk? I can't tell. Oddly, whilst the room was left in disarray, the only things stolen were the plate and the broken glass from the window.
でもみんなあのお皿のことを知っていたわね。よほど自慢していたのね。
No, he's just happy to see you. It struck me how everyone we interviewed knew about the plate. He must boast about it left and right.
だってお気に入りだったんだもの。
Well, I love it. I can't help it. Don't be surprised that it got stolen then, Hudson.
でも旅行に行っていたブロワ夫人と
Still,
両親を
Mrs.
招いていた
Blois
ア
was
トリ
away
エ夫
on
人の
holiday,
アリバイがあ
and
るわ
Miss Atlee was with her parents. So they both have fairly solid alibis.
カーティスさんも
Mr. Curtis's age seems like it makes sneaking in through the window difficult.
難しいと思う。
ハドソン、
Oh, would you mind if we had some tea as we
みんなに
discuss,
お茶をい
Hudson?
ただけるかしら。
Right away! Hudson sprang into motion and was off in a split second.
そもそも
The
どう
hardest thing to work out here is the motive.
お皿だけを取っていく
What reason would any of them have to steal just to play? Oh, that is just a gun.
そこなのよね。実はアトリエ夫
That
人は
really is the
あのお皿
question.
が偽物だって
Incidentally,
こと知っていた
Miss
の。
Atlee is aware that it's a counterfeit. What?
本当に
She is?
ええ、ハド
Yes.
ソンをがっかり
She's
させ
kept
た
it
く
from
なくて。
Hudson because she doesn't want to dampen her spirits. But she told me as much rather quietly when we were on the way out.
なんか
This is a conundrum, to be sure.
そう考えると
With all we know in mind,
あの中で
there doesn't seem to be a single one amongst them who has the ability and motive to steal it. Yeah, it must be the people that arrived, like, while she was away, saying that they want to meet with her. I'm so surprised. The The sound of tiny footsteps and clacking china approached. It was Hudson, carrying a pot of tea and several cups on the tray. Listen, I appreciate you making this tea for me, Hudson, but I don't trust in drinking or eating anything by women in this game. I'm sorry.
さあ、お茶が
Tea
入
is
ったわ。
served!
ありがとう、ハドさん。
Thank you, Hudson. Damn.
どういたしまして。
You're very welcome.
それにしてもおかしいな。
And here's another part of the mystery. Why did the culprit need to break the glass twice? Elio hates women now. Damn. I don't hate women. It's just, after 2 attempted poisoning cases, you start to get a bit suspicious of any food given to you by women.
確かに慣れた泥棒なら。
That's true. An experienced burglar could have sneaked in through the door without making a sound or broke the glass in one strike. Only now? Wait.
ひょっとしたら
Could they have lacked experience in burglary?
かもしれないわ
What
ね。
else could it be?
確かレストンさんとハワードさん、聞き込み中に2人の名前が出てたよな。
Also, 2 names came up during our questioning, didn't they? Miss Rustin and Mr. Howard? No. Actual women have not tried to poison me. It happened in the game earlier. We had 2 cases where the person that was trying to kill someone was a woman, slowly poisoning people. He looked at the list Hudson had given us. Look, I thought the poison would be tasty, okay? I didn't mean to ice our twins' birthday cake with it.
レストンさんとハワードさんって
So it was
この
you
リストには入って
that
ない
made
み
me
たいですね。
suspicious of women poisoning me. Neither of those names are on the list from what I can see.
前に住んでた人だよ。ほら、こっちにはいるだろ。
Sorry. You are forgiven. That's because they're former tenants. They're on this list, see? But, etc. It's fine. You were just feeling silly that day. Watson presented the previous list again, and as he said, both names were on it.
ね
It was the perfect crime. No one would have suspected.
どんな人なの
Oh, thank you for the hydrate and take a moment. What sort of person is Mr. Howard? Well, he makes a bunch of games. He works for this one place that does like Elden Ring? Or not Elden Ring. Bleh, it's a bleh. Fucking no.
ハワードおじさまは
Starfield.
私にすごくよくしてくれた人よ。ご家族で住まわれていて、
Let me
よくお
stretch.
食事とかに誘ってくれたの。
He's a sweet man who's always been good to me. Back when he lived with his family, they would often invite me over for dinner and the like. Starfield poisoned me, so did Skyrim.
ハワードおじさま、実はここを出るときに離婚されてて、今は確かお一人のはずだわ。
He and his wife divorced around the same time he moved, sadly. As far as I'm aware, he now lives alone.
引っ越す前から
Makes sense. It
奥
looks
様の
very
住所を
boring.
教えてほしいって何度か聞かれたんだけど、教えないでって言われてて。
He asked me a number of times before moving out of here to tell me her new address, but she'd requested I not say anything. Oh, creepy.
ごめんなさい。その疑っているとかそういうわけじゃなくて。
That's some red flags. I'm sorry. It isn't as though I suspect him of anything. Actually, I do suspect him of something. I suspect him of being a creep.
いえ、探偵なんだから当然だわ。私にもあなたの助手として調べさせて。そんな甘いこと言ってられないもの。
It's alright. It's your duty as a detective to suspect everyone. And as your assistant, I want to help.
ありがとう、ナダさん。
Thank you, Hudson.
ねえ、このレストンさん。
What about Miss
どんな人
Rustin?
なの？
What is she like?
実はあんまりお話ししたことなくって、よく知らないの。
Her?
気難しい
I
人
don't
で
know her very well. We never spoke much, and she always appeared rather grumpy.
そういえば前にアトリ夫人とお皿のお話をしていた時に興味があるって言われたことがあったわ。
Oh, but when I was talking to Miss Atlee about the plate once before, she'd mentioned Miss Rustin expressed interest in it.
確 確か工芸
Sus.
とかが趣味でお皿について詳しく聞かれたの。
One of her hobbies is making ceramics, apparently. So she was asking a lot of questions. I wonder if the ceramics she makes are knockoffs.
陶芸場所
If that's so, she wouldn't be short of places to hide a plate.
お皿について聞いてきたの。
Even asking about the plate is enough to arouse suspicion. Misha has unofficially obtained popcorn? What? Did you steal the popcorn, Misha? How is it unofficial? Welcome, Misha. Hope you're doing well.
じゃ、聞き込みが終わったら合流しましょう。
Then let's split up and question the two of them. We can get together once we're done. Don't stay out too late, alright?
そうね。
Right.
中間地
I
点
can
の
meet in front of the
学園前
school,
に集合し
since
ましょ
that's
う。
about the halfway point. And yes, I stole the popcorn.
だけど
How
帰り
could
は
you?
するなよ。もし
Is
犯
it
人が
good?
当たったら
Is it good enough to steal? Don't go pressing them too much. If one of us is questioning the culprit and they realize we're onto them,
大丈夫。注意深くやるわ。
we'll be careful, very, very careful.
大丈夫だって信じてるけど危ない橋を渡るのは俺と合流してからにしてくれよ。
I'm sure you will, but make sure we're together before trying anything dangerous. Promise? Listen, I'm listening.
ええ、わかったわ。
Heck, now I want popcorn,
Sorry,
right?
行きましょう。
I want some nice buttery popcorn. Maybe with some cheese. Promise. Alright, let's go. If there's popcorn that's left unattended on a table, you will steal it? You monster.
ハバードさんの家はまだかしら。
This is quite a trip. Mr. Howard's home was situated on the outskirts of London and quite near to the East End. He lived next to this one building called Bethesda. Cheese on popcorn? Well, like, I guess not like cheese, but there's like what would you call it? There's like this one powder that you can put on popcorn that like makes it taste like cheese. Like, what's it called? Yeah, the Colonel Seasons. Have you guys ever had that? I like their bacon cheddar and nacho cheddar on popcorn. It's really good. Drugs? Oi! Cocaine? Oi. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little tiny containers. Yeah. It tastes really good with like the cheddar on it. And this wasn't known to be the safest area in London. The streets were plenty occupied by those with nowhere else to go. Put some cocaine on my popcorn.
なんだか薄暗くなってきたわね。
Uh-oh. It's foggy. Are we gonna get ambushed by Jack the Ripper? It's terribly gloomy here. Are you certain we're going the right way?
大丈夫よ。
Cheddar, I'll give them a try next time I go to the store. Me.
ハワードおじさまの
Sounds
家に
like a
着けば
lyric from
安
that
心よ。
one Persona 3 anime song. I'm in the house like carpet. And my popcorn don't have any bacon cheddar on it. I'll go to Walmart and buy myself another container and put it on. Very certain. In fact, we're almost there now. As soon as we're in his house, we'll be safe as can be.
実は私、
It's just that I've never been in this area of London before.
失業
I've
者
heard there are many poor and
貧しい人が多い
unemployed
って聞いた
people
こと
here,
はあったけれど、
but I never expected such a sight.
そういえばあなたってお嬢様なのよね。
Oh, of course, you're a noblewoman, aren't you? I should have considered that before dragging you all this way. We are about to get ambushed by Jack the Ripper. I'm
でも
calling
帰りは
it.
安全な道から行きましょう。
Please, you mustn't feel guilty. Let's take the safest route we can back, however, if you don't mind. Agreed. Oh, look,
あの家じゃ
Emily.
ないかしら。
I think that's it. With a bit more legwork, we managed to complete our journey through the maze of streets and arrive at our destination, a small flat that positioned itself just outside the edge of the city.
部屋に明かりがついて
Put
るわ。
that wrap up in the compilation. There's a light on inside. Let's see if he'll let us in.
ごめんください。
Hello, Mr. Howard? Are you working on the new Elden Scrolls? Hudson knocked on the door. It opened, and from within came an elderly gentleman with a soft air about him.
おや、誰かと思ったらハドソン。
Well, if it isn't young Hudson, it's lovely to see you again.
本当にお久しぶ
That's
り
what
で
I should be saying.
I
It's
think
been
it's you.
too long, hasn't it? He gave a pleasant smile as he caressed her head. She in turn seemed happy for the attention.
彼女は君の友人かい？
Todd Howard would never steal plates from girls. Is this young lady a friend of yours? How do things devolve into chaos? Quite easily.
ええ、彼女は私のお友達よ。
It's all
一
my
緒にここ
fault,
の近く
honestly.
を通ったからお元気かと思って寄ってみたの。
She is, and since we were passing by, I thought we might see how you're doing.
偉いわ。
Well done, Hudson. I gave her a subtle nod in approval, but she returned with a witty wink of her own.
右の手のひらに
There's another one with an injured hand. His right hand's dressed up in a bandage. What's up with everyone being bandaged?
はじめまして。
It's a pleasure to meet you. I held out my own right hand to him, seeking a handshake. He didn't accept it. Rather, he simply pointed inside his home, kept at his soft smile.
さあ、立ち話もなんだし。
Would you like to come
中
inside?
に入り。
I should take it easier for us to talk in there. So his hand's like injured, and the rest aren't.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you, sir. My handshake rejected, I lowered my hand back to my side.
気づいてもらえなかっ
Did
た
you
の
not
かしら。
realize what I wanted? He definitely noticed me put my hand out.
右手を差し出し
It's
ている
only
ことに
natural
は
to shake another's hand in those circumstances. I saw his eyes look in the direction of my hand. I thought I was certain. J.O. incidents? This place bought out by Big Band-Aid.
もしかして
Yeah, it's a new fashion trend. Everyone wears bandages over their hands. Perhaps.
嬉しいよ。ハドソンがここを訪ねてきてくれるなんてね。
I really am happy that you took the time to come and visit, Hudson.
もうアフタヌーンティーの時間だからね。紅茶でも飲みながら話そう。
It's afternoon tea time, so how about we enjoy a chat in a couple? Oh, whoops.
おじさまはあれからどうしていたの？あの時は急に引っ越すって聞いてすごく驚いたわ。
How have things been for you since you moved? I was so surprised when you came to say you were leaving all of a sudden.
すまなかったね。いや、君は小さいし、あれこれ心配させたくなくてね。
I suppose I did spring it on you, didn't I? You're still young. I don't intend to cause you undue worry.
まあ、私だってもう立派なレディーなのよ。大抵のことじゃ驚かないわよ。
I'm a grown lady now, you know. It would take a lot to surprise or unduly worry me.
それに困った時はいつでも相談してって言ってたじゃない。
Besides, I did tell you that you could always come to me if you needed help.
そうか。そうだったな。
Well, I suppose you did.
仕事をクビになってから身の回りも大変だったが今では笑い話だ。
Things were a challenge after losing my job, but looking back on it now, all I can do is laugh. Living on your own is oddly freeing. Again, Mr. Howard affectionately patted Hudson's head with his left hand as he spoke, and she was more than pleased to indulge.
離婚されたんですか？
Are you no longer wed? There was an underlying sense of timidness to my question. I hadn't known if it was even an appropriate thing to ask.
私が職をなくしてね、借金を作ったもんで、妻も愛想を尽かしてね、離婚を言い渡されたんだ。
I lost my job, amassed a mountain of debt, and after a point, my wife had enough of me and demanded we go our separate ways.
娘と妻とはあれ以来会ってない。
I have yet to see her or my daughter since. Aww. The smile grew less genuine.
奥さんもお嬢さんもよく私と遊んでくれてたのよ。
Eh? They were both so kind to me.
そうだったの。
It's truly a shame.
で、ここに来たのには理由があるんじゃないのかい？
So what, is the reason his smile stopped being genuine because he doesn't actually miss them? Alright, that's enough about me. Would I be correct in assuming this was no sudden visit? Oof, yeah. I chose the words in my response carefully. Maybe he killed them and ate
お
them.
尋ねしたいことがあってきました。
Yes, sir. We came because we have something to ask.
実は最近ハドソンの部屋に強盗が入ってハドソンが大事にしていた食器が盗まれてしまったんです。
In truth, Hudson had been robbed. A piece of tableware she was especially fond of has been stolen.
そうか。怪我はしなかったかい？
It's terrible. You weren't hurt, were you?
ええ、大丈夫。
None the worse for wear, thank you.
そうか。大事にしていた食器って以前見せてもらった食器のことだね。
I'm pleased to hear it. Could it be that piece you've shown me before? Girl, who hasn't she shown this fucking plate to? Oh my god.
ハワードさんも
You know of it?
ああ、
I do.
フルー
That
ツフラワー
floral
柄
and
のサラダ
fruit
ね。
design plate,
ロイヤルドル
yes?
トンの。
The Regal Dalton one.
ええ、そうよ。
That's right!
ちゃんと
You
覚えてくれた
remembered!
のね。
Very suddenly, it grew dark outside. We could hear the rumbling of thunder in the distance.
おや、霧が出てきたよ
Look
う
at
だね。
that. Fog is rolling in. The sun had been shining brilliantly till not long before, but looking out the window, it was now hidden behind the clouds. A light fog permeated the air.
霧が濃くなる前に帰った方がいいんじゃないのか？
Perhaps it would be best for you to get going before it gets any thicker.
もうちょっとお話を聞
I
きたい
did
け
so
ど、
want to press him for
あんまり
information,
遅くなっ
but
てしまうと。
Watson and Marple would worry if we stay out much longer.
ミス・ホワイトリー？
And also my butler,
何か気になるものでも？
Miss Whiteley. Is something on your mind? Eated it.
いえ、
Not at all. So we hardly ever get to see her full sprite. Drat. I stammered. Hudson watched me with curious eyes while sitting next to me, but I could do little more than return it with a weak grin of reassurance before reverting my own.
ダメだわ。これ以上深入りしては
No, we shan't press this any further.
したも
We
の
promised Watson.
なんでもないんで
I
す。
do insist that it's nothing. And since we've some business to attend to elsewhere,
予
then
定
we
があ
should
る
be
ので、
leaving now.
これで。ハワードおじさま、
Thank you very much for the tea, Mr. Howard. It was delicious.
ああ、気をつけてお帰り。
I'm happy to hear that. Have a safe journey back. Yeah, have a good time working on that Elden Scroll thing or whatever. Hopefully you can get rid of all those bugs. After he saw us off, we began making our way to the meeting point. The tea is made of his wife's kidneys. We hurried as fast as we could through the fog-shrouded streets.
予定よりだい
We
ぶ遅
spent
くなっ
more
ちゃっ
time
たのね。
out than we intended to. The two of us tried to make up for lost time by pulling up our skirts and rushing to the school.
おい
Over here!
帰りが遅いから
You took so
迎え
long
に来たの。
coming back that we decided to come and meet you.
大体予想はして
We
いた
did
けど。
suspect this might happen, admittedly.
ワトさん、
Watson! Michael!
よくここ
I
が
don't
分か
know
っ
how you managed to find us. We quickly bumped into the very two people we were hoping to see.
マープルがハワ
We
ー
owe
ドさん
that
の
one to
新しいアパートの
Marple.
住
She
所を
memorized
覚
Mr.
えてくれて
Howard's
て
new
よかったよ。
address.
ごめんなさい。
I do apologize for worrying you so.
でもハワードおじ
But
さんに
we managed to have a nice chat with him. How was your visit?
いや、レストン
Yes,
さん
well,
はもう引っ越
she's
してる
moved out already, I'm afraid.
新しい住所まで
And
は
we don't know her new address.
たまたま
We did have a good fortune of finding someone who helped her move.
事件があった時間
They were helping her move things at the exact time we believe the crime
レストン
took
さんと一緒
place.
に荷物を
7
運んだらしい
o'clock.
わ。
目撃情報もあった
And
か
there
ら
are
間違いないと思う
eyewitnesses who can attest to that
レストン
fact.
さんは犯人じゃ
I
ない
think we can assume she isn't the culprit. Oh, so it was Mr. Howard?
じゃあ話を聞けたの
I
は
guess Bethesda's not doing so hot that he needs to make counterfeits to make do, huh? All in all, we were able to question the 3 current tenants and Mr. Howard. After Hudson spoke, Marple addressed me in a whisper.
結果から聞くわ。
I'll not mince words, Emily. Who do you think did it? The most suspicious person is someone else. I guess Mr. Howard.
怪しいのはハワードさんね。
I believe it may have been Mr. Howard.
ハドソンの食器の
He
話をしてい
appeared
る時
anxious when we brought up the subject of Hudson's tableware,
私が握手を求めて
and he refused to
手を
shake
伸
my
ばしてくれな
hand.
かったそういえば
Come to think of it,
おばあちゃん
during
の
the case of the
話
Benjamin family, the thief hadn't committed the theft because they were
貧
in
しさゆ
need.
えに盗んだわけではなかったわ。食器を盗んだ犯人は
They were someone the
ベンジャ
family
ミ
knew
ン
and
家の人間
trusted.
にとっても帰国あの事件では
Their
犯
motives
人
were
をなく
less
したものを
related
見
to
つ
money,
けて
and more because they
報酬じゃな
wanted
くて
the family to owe them a
恩を
debt.
売りたがっていた。
Huh.
じゃあ今回の犯人
So, you suppose this case mirrors that one then?
盗んだってこと
That our thief stole Hudson's plate to put her in their debt? Watson managed to enter the conversation without Hudson noticing.
多分
I'm thinking so, yes.
ハドソンと一緒に聞き込みをしていて思ったの。みんな彼女が来た時親しみのこもった
Did you happen to see a pattern during our questioning? Everyone we met was delighted to see her. They all thought very well of her.
ワトソンお願いがあるの。
Watson, might I ask you a favor?
どうしたんだ
What is it?
この後私と一緒に来てくれる？それからマープルはハドソンをベーカー街のアパートに送ってくれる？
When we're finished here, will you come with me somewhere? And Marple, can you see Hudson back to Baker Street?
それは構わないけど
Well, of course, but what for?
あなたに何か考えがあるのね。
I take it you have something in mind, Emily?
ええ、
I
お
do.
願いできるかしら？
Would you?
わかったわ。あの子は任せて。
Alright, leave her to me. With Watson at my side, I returned to Mr. Howard's home.
なんだまた来たのかい
Oh, I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon.
ええ、大切なお話があるんです。ハドソンのためを思うなら、そして何よりあなた自身のために話を聞いてほしいんです。
Hello again, sir. I have something important that I should like to discuss with you. If Hudson means anything to you, and you must know what I mean, I'm hoping you'll listen to me. He fell silent for a moment before slowly opening the door.
入りなさい
Come inside.
ハワードさんお久しぶりです
It's been some time, Mr. Howard.
ワトソンか君もハドソンのために
It certainly has. Are you here for Hudson's sake as well?
そうですお邪魔させてもらいます
Yes, I am. I'm sorry for how sudden this must be for you. We were shown inside. The room felt eerily still, but we both faced Mr. Howard squarely.
ハワードさん、お皿を盗んだのはあなたですね。
You were the one who stole the plate, weren't you, Mr. Howard?
なぜそう思ったんだい
What makes you think that?
今住んでいる方全員にお話を伺いましたそのうちの2人が 週間前にあなたを見かけたと。
You spoke with all of Hudson's current tenants, and two of them say they noticed you near the flats a week ago.
それにハドソンに話を聞きたがっていたとも聞きました。
They also claim that you wanted to speak with her. I then pointed directly at his right hand.
その右手に巻かれている包帯、それは窓を割った時についた傷ではありませんか？
You need that bandage because you hurt your hand when you broke the window of her flat, didn't you? Okay, one thing I'm confused about, like, that makes sense. But why did all of the other tenants have bandages on their hands as well?
その傷、思っていたよりも深くなってしまった。それこそ床に血をこぼしてしまうほど。
The cut was deeper than you expected. Deep enough to result in blood on the floor. They all did the same.
ガラスの破片を
Baked bean accident. Deep enough that you wanted to take all the bloody pieces of glass away from the scene.
床にこぼれた血は
You did your best to clean the blood off the floor,
暗かっ
but
たせいも
there
あ
was
って
still a little left that you mustn't
わ
have
ずかな線
noticed.
が残っていました。
Likely because it was dark.
時間はかかりますが
It may take
血
time,
液鑑定を
but
すれ
they've
ば
recently begun to use fingerprints as evidence in crimes. And there were some in the blood.
もういい。
That's enough. Mr. Howard interrupted him. He wore a face of deep loneliness.
そこまで分かっ
If
てい
you've
る
worked
な
out that much, I see no reason to hide the truth anymore.
全部
I'll
話そ
tell
う。
you everything. His sigh was both heavy and depressed. He then began to tell his story, and as he spoke, he seemed to accept his fate.
実は妻とは
As I'd mentioned to the ladies earlier,
アパー
I
トを
haven't
出
been
る
in
時に
contact with my wife ever since she left with me. When she left the flat, she took my daughter with her.
2人が出ていく時、ハドソンに転居先を教えたことを知って、どうしても教えてほしかった。
I found out that they gave their new address to Hudson, so I wanted her to share that information with me. Creep.
だが、あの子はあの年でなかなかに義理がたく、責任感が強い子だ。
She's very dutiful and responsible for someone her age. No matter how many times I asked, she wouldn't share it with me. Oh, was he gonna use the fact that he stole her plate as like a threat to give his ex-wife's address to him? Or no, I think he broke in to look for her address. That must have been it. Guillotine.
正しいことだわ。
She's been right not to.
それは私にもよくわかっている。だから私は彼女に大きな恩を売って、それと引き換えに聞き出そうと、そう考えた。
That she has. That was what led me to try and put her into my debt. Enough so that she would be willing to tell me what I wanted to know in exchange.
彼女が一番大事にしていたロイヤルドルトンの皿を見つけたことにすれば、
All it would take would be for me to be the one who found her most prized Regal Dalton plate.
そうすればきっと教えてくれる。
Surely she would
そう
help
思
me
ったん
then.
だ。だが、実際にやろうとすると、小心者な私には勇気を振り絞ることができなかった。
But when the time finally came to do it, I turned out to be more of a coward than I thought.
一度じゃ窓は割れなかった。この音でど
Can I
れか
just
来るん
say,
じゃな
I
いか
feel
と
like the
焦った。
cases have been de-escalating. We opened with murder attempt, and now plate. One strike wasn't enough to break the window. I began to panic, thinking someone might hear the sound and come rushing over.
それから彼女の大切にしていた皿を探した。必死だったよ。だが、
But it's people who nearly scammed your majesty.
それに優しい思い出も。
I looked around desperately for the plate. As I did, I began to feel terrible for what I was doing. The memories of the past came rushing back.
奥さんや娘さんと一緒だった昔の暮らしを思い出したと。
of the days when you still lived with your wife and daughter? It's a fancy plate, I think. It's a fancy plate that's cool enough to be willing to murder.
ああ、ハドさんの食器を見て、
Close enough to a murder
あの頃
case.
の暮らしが懐かしくなった。
That's right. I saw the tableware in her home, and then, quite suddenly, I was filled with a longing for days long gone. Are we meant to feel bad for him? I don't. Yeah, he's a creep.
しかしその時気がついたんだ。私が割った窓ガラスに腕を引っ掛けて血が出ていることに。
It was only then that I noticed my hand had been cut from the broken shards and was bleeding. He instinctively touched his right hand with his left. Sad violin for a sad, pathetic
床
man.
に流れ落ちた血を拭いた。幸い床の血は簡単に拭き取れた。
I worked to quickly clean the blood that had dripped onto the floor. Unfortunately, that didn't prove difficult.
けどガラス片につい
But
た
the
血を
sad
きれい
BGM
に落と
compels
す
you
の
to
は
feel
到
bad.
底無理だ。
For me? Yet to clear the blood and prints from the shards proved impossible.
だから血のついたガラス片を集めてポケットにしまったんだ。
It should be played with kazoos.
つもりだったんだが。
Kazoo cover 1. With time running short, I pocketed every piece I could find, though it does appear I wasn't as thorough with cleaning as I hoped.
そしてあのフルーツフラワーの皿を見つけ出し、窓から出たんだ。いたたまれない気持ちだったよ。
I found the plate I was looking for and escaped through the window, but I'm not certain I could have felt any worse about it.
そして今日
Damn, sorry that happened, bro. Anyway, get in the jail cell.
ハドさんが遊び
Yeah, he was literally trying to get information on his wife and child that are like withholding information from him, probably because he is a creep. Then after all that, Hudson came to visit you today.
ああ、驚いたよ。ハドソンがすでに私の罪に気づいているのか。そうでなければ、神が罰を与えたのかとしか思えなかった。
Indeed, I couldn't believe my eyes. All I could think was that either she had worked out what I had done, or God was punishing me for my actions.
けど、あの
She
子
was still
は
the same as she
昔と
ever
変わら
was,
なかった。
smiling innocently to the
無
moment
邪気
she
に
left.
笑ってそのまま帰ってしま
Yeah,
っ
you
た。
feel bad?
だが私は自
All
分
I
のし
could
たこ
do
とがい
was
つバ
cower
レ
in
るか
fear of when my crime would come to
ばかりで。
light. We do know she's dumb as nails. He shook his head in a way that showed his anguish was too heavy for him to bear.
これが
This is
そ
the
の
cut
時の
made
傷
when
だ
I
よ。
tried to break in. It
ま
still
だ血が
bleeds.
止まらない
It
し、
hurts when I put too
手を
much
握
pressure
ると
on it.
痛くてね。
Dang, it still bleeds?
だからさっき
That's why you wouldn't
アクシ
shake
ョン
my
を起こせ
hand
なかったんだ
earlier?
ね。
そういう
You
こと
really
だ。
did have it all worked out, didn't
君
you?
にはすべて分かっていたようだね。
Yep. I never suspected we would meet again in these circumstances, Mr. Howard. Oh my god, this old man emo rant.
賢明だったね。
Bringing Watson with you was a wise choice, young lady.
そう
I suppose it was. I felt a sharp chill run down my spine. The thought of what may have happened had I come alone. Oh.
さあ、警察に渡すなり
Oh,
何なり
do as
して
you
くれ。
wish. Hand me over to the
Alright.
police, if that's what you want to
ホームズを呼ぶか
do.
い？
Or will you call Holmes?
いいえ
I'm not gonna do
それはね。
either of those things, but
だ
instead.
けど
Oh, what do you mean you're not gonna do either of those things? He's a creep! Throw him in jail! What is this? Oh, he got the Numies! Aww, baby! He got too tired. He Numed too hard. The next day, Baker Street was filled with the energy of Hudson's voice. No, Emily fell for the sad BGM and felt sorry for him. Why, Emily, you fool?
本当に驚い
Oh,
た
thank goodness! Miracles do happen! clutched in Hudson's hands were her beloved plate.
朝新聞を取ろうとして玄関を開けたら玄関の脇に
I went to bring in the morning paper, and there it was at the front door, all wrapped in a box with a ribbon, if you can believe it.
もしかしたら
Some virtuous hero must have found it and returned it to me. I say Lupin's found himself a rival.
まあそうかもしれない
That's one possibility. Cute. You're talking to the girl who just let a girl go after trying to poison her friend. Are you that surprised? Well, didn't she still get, like, taken away, like, reported and stuff? I hope she reported him.
でもよかったじゃないハドソン傷や壊れているところ
This is
はない
wonderful, Hudson. It isn't damaged in any way, is it? And then it cuts to him crucified in Hudson's flat.
大丈夫よ
It's in perfect condition, exactly as it was when I lost it, right down to the detail of the paintwork. Beware the power of sad music. You gotta stop being a sympathizer, Emily. Throw them in jail. It is without a doubt my plate. Oh, welcome home, darling. I don't know how I missed you. Hudson seemingly let out all of her energy in one monstrous heave before hugging and kissing the plate in an over-exaggerated fashion. No, she just left the school. That's it. God, right. They did just tell her to fuck off, and that was all that happened. Tears of happiness filled her eyes. She couldn't have possibly looked any more jubilant.
今度正義の味
If
方
the
がうち
hero
に来
who
たらお礼
returned
を言わ
this
な
ever
きゃ
comes to visit,
それ
I'll
に
have
ち
to
ょっ
give
と
them a
お
big
茶もお
thank
出
you.
ししてお
And
も
some
て
of
な
my
ししな
best
くち
tea,
ゃ
of course.
いや
You really believe in there being a hero of justice?
まあまあ
Come
そう
now,
すればいい
Watson.
かとさ
Let her believe. She's happy, and that's all
ハ
that
ドソンが
matters.
嬉しそうでよかったじゃない
And that wasn't Emily, that was Marple. Yeah.
君はいいのか
Are you alright with this, Emily? It's only because you decided to revisit Mr. Howard that she got it back. Whilst Watson was pouting, the door opened and a familiar voice could be heard from the other side. These girls are kind of bad at stopping crimes.
やれやれ
What in
やっ
God's
と
name
長
is
旅から
going
戻っ
on
たと思
here?
ったら
I'd hoped to return from my
None
trip to
saw
peace and quiet, not this kerfuffle. Oggy, they're detectives. If there's no crime to solve. Have you not learned from Conan?
ホームズ
Hello, Holmes. True, we need lawyers to solve this crime. Where's Phoenix, right?
ホームズ見てちょう
Look,
だい
Holmes! Someone found my Regal Dalton plate for me!
一体何の
I
話だ
was not aware you lost it, but I'm
な
not
くしたものを大
surprised.
騒ぎしながら
Losing
探したん
things is
だ
what happens when you
ちゃん
don't
と
tidy
片
up
付けないから
properly.
物をなくすんだ
違うわ
I'll have you know that I didn't lose it. It was stolen from me.
私のためにたくさん
Then
頑張ってく
Emily
れた
tried as hard as she could to find it for me.
私は
Oh,
彼女の助手
and
に
big
なったん
news.
だから
I'm her assistant now.
これから私も探偵の勉強をしてきっと
I
ワトソン
swear
に
to
優れ
study
た助手にな
especially
るわ
hard to be a first-rate detective and become an even better assistant than Watson. I'm Phoenix left. Right is away for now. Good enough.
君がミス・ホワイトリーの
You
助手
become
になっ
Miss
た
Whiteley's
ワトソン
assistant and intend to surpass Watson?
面白いジョ
What a
ークだ
very droll concept. Is Hudson not the one who tidies up for Holmes? I guess not. Huh.
彼女は行き当たりばったりで事件
She
を解
solves
決してい
cases
るだけだ
entirely by ear, which can answer by luck more than logic.
もったいない
She doesn't require an assistant. Having one would be a complete waste. How could you say that?
それから
Surpassing Watson as an assistant in itself is, well,
そんなに
that
難しい
isn't
ことじゃない
particularly challenging. Jeez. Excuse me? Speaking of complete waste, hi Holmes. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you be a total asshat.
目標は
I
高
didn't
く設定
miss
して
it.
こそ意味があるその程度の目標設定で自分を甘やかすなんておす
Literally,
すめできない
who dates Holmes? Who when they play London Detective Mysteria sees this guy and goes, yeah, I want to play his route specifically. Goals should be set high. To set them low to increase your chances of success is to mollycoddle yourself. rude ass Holmes.
おい今日は
I
一
see
段と
someone's got off the
風が
wrong
強い
side of the bed today. You? I don't want to date him, but I will date him for completion's sake. That is a difference.
ああ、望む
I'm
ところ
talking about people that just legitimately
真
want
に
to
僕の
play
助手
his
だという
route
のならなぜ
because
捜査に同行しなかったんだ
they want to have a romance with
僕の
this
助手が
man.
務まるのか
Say what you want, but you can hardly call yourself my assistant to begin with. You didn't even accompany me on my investigation. He talks shit about literally anyone. He has no heart, I swear. He's such an asshole. Well, excuses.
まあいい
I'll take
それ
what
は
I can
最も
get.
重大なことだな
We'll leave that matter aside for the present. More importantly,
まだま
you
だ
still haven't finished?
ミス・ハドソン君
Miss
のその皿
Hudson,
は
I regret to
本物の
inform
ロイ
you
ヤルドル
that
トン
plate
だ
of yours is not a...
あ
Ah!
お前
Holmes! Stop! Listen, someone needs to be a hater.
やめてホーム
Don't say anymore!
本当のことを言って何が悪いいいかその皿は本物のロイヤルドルトンではない偽物だ
I see no reason to shy from the truth. Listen well. That plate you so adore is not a genuine Regal Dalton plate. It is a counterfeit. Oh boy.
ズなんですって
What? Have you gone mad?
裏のマークを見たまえライオンの尾が2本に分かれているだろ
Look at the mark on the reverse side. The lion's tail is split into two, correct?
そうよこれがロイヤルドルトンの証だわ
That's right! That's what proves it's genuine! Hudson showed off the mark to Holmes.
だが正しくは尾の先は1本だ君の手元に戻ってきたのはちゃんと元と同じ偽物だ
A Regal Dalton only has one tail. The plate you lost was false, as is the one you retrieved.
そんな嘘よ嘘だわ
That can't be true! It can't be!
だがいいニュースもある君が持っているカップソ
Still,
ーサ
there is good news.
そっ
The
ちが
cup and
本物
saucer you
だ
have, at
後ろ
least,
のマ
are
ークを調べ
genuine.
てみたまえ
Look at the mark on the back of those.
そんな
But my prize plate! The one I boasted about so much!
あなたは知ってたの
Did you know about this, Emily? What about you, Watson? Seeing Hudson stunned by the revelation was enough to make me feel a twinge of guilt. No,
知らなかった
of
わ
course not.
今日は
I've learned something new today.
私
Hey,
は
Watson?
お俺もだよ
Absolutely. I had no idea.
色は同
But
じくらい綺麗
who
じゃない
could
か
when it's as pretty as an original? You can be a positive hater. Sometimes you just gotta tell your friends they're they're being fucking stupid.
お芝居が下手だわ
You couldn't be worse at lying if you tried. You're awful. Which I normally endorse, but he's so bad at selling himself as a love interest, right? I actually, while I was out, I actually showed some of my friends the profiles for some characters for this game. And when I showed Holmes, my friend was like, is there anything appealing about this guy to want to date him? Because I don't see it.
まったくとんだ茶番だな
Whatever this case entailed, know that it was a complete farce. Sounds perfect for you then.
今回は
I'm
そこそこ楽し
confused.
かったわ
Oi!
ハドソンには
Enjoyable
お皿の
farce it is then.
あ
Hudson
なた
has
に
her
可愛
plate
い
back,
助手ができた
and you procured an adorable
よ
assistant.
かったじゃない
All's well that ends well. If he was like a platonic route, I'd let him slide as a professional hater. You're so calm about all of this.
でもあなたの隣は
Be
譲
that
らない
as it may, I am not letting her take my spot by your side. She's so... Let her be gay, Game Devs! She's so gay! What the fuck? What do you mean she has a platonic route? While
君にしては珍しく
That's an
子供じみた発言じゃない
uncharacteristically childish statement from you. If we could just swap Holmes and Marple en route, please.
あなたほどじゃないわよ。
I'm not behaving as childishly as you, thankfully. Taking out your frustration on a young girl is absolutely
大
juvenile.
人げないわね。
It's not about Marple being gay, it's about Emily not being gay. Emily's got bad taste in men, confirmed. She's got bad taste in general.
大人げない勘違いの
Juvenile? What a grave misunderstanding we have on our hands. What I said earlier was for her own good. How? How so? Holmes, I'm gonna put you in a sandwich press.
いいか人生の早いう
Humans
ちに
need to
挫折の
experience
味を知ってお
setbacks
かなけれ
early
ば
in their
人
life,
間に成
or
長
they
は
will be
望めない
unable to grow.
どんなに小さな子供でも
Why, I'm with the
3歳の
belief
過
that
ぎ
as soon as a
一
child
人前
hits
の
3
人間
years
と
of
して
age,
扱うべ
they
き
should be treated as an adult. What the fuck are you going on about, Holmes? No!
そうでないと将来つまらないことで
If they
簡単に
aren't,
心が
they
折
won't
れ
be anything more
You're
than a
right.
frail adult who loses heart at any old bit of claptrap. What the fuck are you talking about? What's wrong with you? His words were short and blunt and his expression sour. Yeah, let's put those kids in the mines at 3 years old. Make it make sense. Marple in comparison looked much more weary. Holmes, you good? I don't think he's good. I think he's got a brain problem.
エディンバラの捜査がうまくいか
I
なかっ
see your investigation in Edinburgh didn't go very well.
た。その上、
And now you return and find yourself feeling left out, which is what prompted this. How right
って
am
と
I?
ころかしら。
What is brother literally yapping about?
名推理だな
Congratulations on conjuring up a
そろそろ帰ったら
theory,
どうだ？
Miss Marple.
ミス・マープル
Now, don't you think it's time you were leaving? Speaking of putting kids in the mines, I saw a new teaser from Minecraft. It showed young Steve talking about how as a child he yearned for the mines. Oh my god, I'm so curious about that Minecraft movie. It looks so shitty. I know I shouldn't get tickets for the movie. I should just pirate it. But I'm so curious.
あなたが帰るなら、
I shall leave when Emily leaves. Oh, he's crazy. She's so gay. Oh my god. Why can't I be gay with Marple? I hate this game. I hate it when Otome games give me characters that I can't date. Out in the hallway, I was sulking.
お皿が偽物だって
She
ことは
learned the
バレちゃっ
truth,
たけど
but at least we found it and solved the
事
case.
件が
I'm
解
glad
決
of
され
that.
たわ。
Puts very shitty father material in the list of reasons as to why he's undateable. Yeah, he'll literally be like, oh, well, our child is 3 years old now. Now I legally see the child as an adult. Let's throw him out of the house. He can provide on his own.
それにしても、
If only Holmes would show some mercy. I think he could be a bit gentler with someone
小
younger.
さい子にも容赦ないんだから。
I hope it's fun bad. Yeah, hopefully. That moment, Hudson came running out after me. We should watch it somewhere else, not suggesting any crimes at all. Oh, definitely not. We are perfectly law-abiding citizens that never do anything illegal. Speaking of, when are we playing Ancient Roman next? That moment, Hudson came running out after me.
もう帰っちゃう。
Emily! Must you leave so soon? Not true. He demanded the 3-year-old to pay rent, and then kick them out, but to make them get a job. Dang, she got a lot of CGs. Why does this look like she's about to kiss her, like give her a morning smooch?
そうね。
I'm afraid so.
私
I
に
have
も
a curfew. I need to be back before.
そろそろ
Emily, why can't you be by? Like, is Sherlock a bad dad? Apparently so, because Holmes has some trauma. Also, he named his son Herlock.
寂しいわ。
I'd say that's a
いつでも
crime.
お茶しに来てね。
Pooh! You'll come join me for some tea another time, I hope. Whenever you want, bestie. Alright, bet.
ええ、もちろん。
I'd love to. Honestly, yeah.
ね
It's ever so frustrating, Emily. You can't just remove a letter from your name and call your child that. Especially as a world famous person. Yeah, I think Holmes got his personality from his dad. I'd rather be Junior, right?
え、ホームズの言ったこと
Is what Holmes said bothering you?
違うの。
No, no, I'm not annoyed with Holmes. I'm more frustrated that all this time I had no idea of the
自分
truth.
の裏ことだった
SMH, those people born on January 6th. Oi!
そうですか。
Why am I catching the crosshairs? Why am I catching the strays from this, huh? Hudson. Without thinking, I put my hand on her head and began stroking it. Perhaps I thought to do so because I noticed others doing the same.
ありがとう。
You're so kind, Emily.
私、
Wasn't getting in your way, was I?
あなた
I
に
didn't
迷惑
cause you
かけ
any
てなか
trouble,
った
did I? Oh, oops, I didn't realize it included you. Oi.
とんでもないわ。ハドソンが一緒だと
Not once. Everyone only talked as much as they did because you were there. It's because of you that we were able to investigate so thoroughly. Oh! Oh my god! Thank you so much for the raid, Sky Toy Suna! Oh, thank you! Welcome, welcome! What are you playing? Hi everyone coming in. My name is Elia Lappi. I'm a bunny from outer space, and I like playing visual novels, RPG Maker horror games, and RPGs. And today we're playing London Detective Mysteria. We just finished this case, which was of this creep that stole this girl's like plate because she kept bragging about it because he wanted the address of his wife and daughter that she had and wanted to like manipulate her into giving it to him out of debt. It was kind of a weird case, honestly. Oh, you're playing the Dragon Quest III remake. Ooh, is it fun? Did you like it?
本当
Truly? Truly. It's not something you can do on purpose, but naturally. Oh, cute!
それならよかった。
Thank goodness! Oh, right! I haven't given you your reward. I hope it's a kiss. Hmm? Reward?
依頼の報酬よ。
For solving the case! I wasn't expecting you to do it for nothing. I'm not a child. It is fun and I'm liking it a lot. Ooh, nice.
わかっているの
I know how these things work.
帳簿だってつ
I
け
have
てる
to
んで
keep
すもの。
books around here, you know? I've
お
got
金なんて
money.
少しなら。
A little bit.
そう。
Really? You're gonna need more than a little bit to hire me.
私は高いわよ。
I will. What's more than a little bit?
お金で払うなら。
If you decide to pay in cash, 100,000 pounds. God. How much is that? That much?
でも、
If that's not possible, you can also choose to pay by helping me with cases from time to time. Does that work? You are now my slave. That's like 100,000 knights? Oh wait, the currency?
本当？私、優秀な助手になれるよ。頑張るわ。
Oh, does it ever? Oh, is this like the best of them?
それではよろしく。
Alright then, I'll be counting on you, Hudson.
それホームズ
Was
の
that
ね。
meant to be an impression of Holmes? You sounded very like him. Things to know about this game. We're all confused as to why Holmes is a dateable option. We're less confused, but much more upset as to why there's no Yuri in this game. When there is a girl who's practically in love with Protag, I hate it here. Right? I'm glad I could see it when my jokes sank in. Oh, Pungan! Hi, Elio! Hi, Pungan69! Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the sub! I hope you enjoy the emotes. Welcome, welcome. Hudson beamed with innocence once again. This was how I'd come to have an assistant of my own. We've got an assistant. We've got a girl that is our friend that we cannot date. The fuck? My evening conversation with Pendleton was, as it so often was, engaging.
なんとお嬢様に助手とは
Fascinating. You with an assistant?
え
Yes, she's quite level-headed and reliable.
それは素晴らしいで
That's
す
as wonderful
お
as
嬢
it
様
is
に足りないも
convenient.
のを持ち合わせて
She
いるんです
possesses
から
two of the very qualities you happen to lack. Shut the hell up, Pendleton! You had to go and spoil my fun, didn't you? Owned. Oi. Oh my god, Teddy! Hello, Teddy! Welcome. Hope you're doing well. You just had to go and spoil my fun, didn't you?
それくらいお似合いだと
I
いう
only
こと
meant
で
to
すよ
suggest that the two of you will make a very complimentary tea. Now, would you like some tea? As he spoke, he placed a cup of milk tea in front of me. I'm not certain I agree with your logic, but thank you. Okay, but like Dwarf, Pendleton does what you said Holmes was doing. So what's the point of Holmes?
しかし依頼の報酬代わりに要求す
I
る
must
とは
admit, it's usually mercenary of you to demand services in return for giving your own. Hello, I've been here, but now I can chat. Oh, nice! Well, it's nice seeing you in chat. Hello. How you doing tonight?
おまけに10万ポンドとは
Say nothing of the
メイドの
cash
年給
figure
が
you
60ポンド
proposed.
と考える
Maid's
と
yearly salary
What about
is only
Holmes?
£60, you know. I wasn't expecting her to pay it. Yeah, I like Pendleton. He's based.
そうでしょうね
I
本
should
気だっ
hope
たら
not.
講師としての
I
品
find
格を
myself
疑っ
questioning
て
if
し
you
まい
are
ます
fit to be head of this family if you were.
ハド
I'm
ソ
not-
ンにそんなこと
I'm
を
not
す
sure
るわ
I'd
けない
even
で
be
しょ
much of a person if I expected her to pay that much. Yeah, that's not even accounting for inflation. I'm good. I hope you've been having a fun time with Eikoku so far. I am. I really enjoy this game. It's a fun otome game.
でもなんだか
Still,
む
this
ず
all
がゆい
feels rather strange and new. I'm surprised how, like, this game isn't really talked about much in otome game spaces. I'm quite enjoying it.
小さな助手ができたことが
To have acquired a young assistant?
もちろん
Well, there's that, yes. But it feels as though I've now acquired a little sister.
なんだか可愛い妹ができたみたいでそれに
Even in the short time we were together, she's taught me so much already. My mind wandered back through the day's events as I stared at the contents of the teacup in front of me.
ね
何でしょう
Pendleton? What is it?
えもし
If I were to have a sister, which do you think would be better for me to
姉
have?
と妹
A younger one? Or an older
似合うか
one?
しら
あまり
I'm
考
not
え
sure
た
I
く
would
ありま
want
せ
you
ん
to
ね
have either.
お嬢
Enough
様
trouble
お一人で
handling
も
just the
こん
one.
なに苦労しているのですから
うん
I
意地
never!
悪な返
That's
答
not a
ね
very nice answer. I put the milk tea to my lips a second time. Alright, what should I do now? I guess we'll write in our diary.
日記を書こうかしら
Perhaps I should write in my diary. I still don't know what these choices do for the game. Choosing what to write about today was easy, at least. I had to write about my new assistant, Hudson.
決めた
It's a good thing you don't have to search then. From now on, I'm your assistant. She works so very hard. How could anyone say otherwise when she looks after a block of flats at her age? She quickly became like family to me. And given how level-headed she is, I have plenty I could stand to learn from her. With her as my assistant, I should need to step up my efforts to become a fine detective.
今日は少し
I'm
疲れたし
feeling
も
rather tired.
う寝ようかしら
Perhaps I should go to sleep. As I readied myself for bed, a thought came to mind. I hadn't seen Pendleton at all since finishing dinner. Ordinarily, He had come at this time to report his progress on his investigation, and yet he was nowhere to be seen.
ペンデルトン
I called out to him, but it was Alicia who came in response.
お嬢様
My lady,
本日は
I'm
ペンデ
afraid
ルトン
he's
様は
out
古い
visiting
ご
an
友
old
人に
friend
会う
at the
ため
moment and won't be
少しお
back
戻
till
りが遅
later.
くなるようです
He said he was expecting
12時
to
には
return
戻られ
at
るそう
around
ですが
midnight. Uh-oh.
そうだったの
I hadn't realized. Thank you for telling me.
両親の事件の
I
こと
wanted
を
to
聞い
ask
た
him
かった
whether
け
he'd made any progress on the
ど
investigation,
そうね
but it sounds like I'll have to give up for today. As I stood thinking that, Alicia's smile grew gentle.
お嬢様
If I may, my
最近は
lady,
ペンデルトン
perhaps it
様
will
と
do you
真面目
good
な
to
お
spend
話
your
をされて
evening
いるようです
relaxing
が
instead of discussing
たまには
serious matters with him.
息を抜かれてはいかがですか
まあ
Well, just this
確かに
once,
そうかも
I
しれないわね
suppose.
一息つかれるな
If
ら
you'd like some
紅
tea
茶を
to
お入れ
drink
します
during your
が
rest, I'd be happy to make you some. I appreciate the offer, Alicia, but I have a history of... Well, I can't say I trust any woman giving me tea, especially if she's a maid in this game.
いただくわ
Thank you. I'd love some. Alicia departed, and before long, she had returned with some warm, fragrant tea.
どうぞお嬢様
Here you are, my lady.
ありがとう
Thank you,
アリシ
Alicia. How are you and the other servants
Thank
faring these
アみんなの様
days?
子はどう
ええ
We're all
みん
as
な自
proud
分
as
の仕
ever to
事に
serve
誇り
you,
を持ってやっ
naturally,
ておりますよ
and most pleased that you seem to be
お嬢様
enjoying
は
your new
毎
life
日
at school.
学校を楽しんでいらっしゃって何よりです
I certainly am,
それも
but I wouldn't be able to if I didn't have all of you supporting me.
ありがと
I'm
う
so grateful to each one of you.
いいえ
It is our
そういえ
pleasure.
ば
And
ホワイトリー
speaking
家
of
の農場
pleasures,
から
we've been
今年の
receiving
味
some
覚が送られて
exciting
きました
samples
よ
from the Whiteley family farm of late.
もしよろしければ
Would you care to
美味しい
sample
チ
some of
ー
the
ズが手に
cheeses
入り
we've
ま
been
したから
sent?
味見な
Some
さいません
delicious
か
Wensleydales
本
arrived
日
just
届いたばかり
today.
のウィンスリーデールがありますよ
まあ
That sounds perfect. The creamy
Milk and
taste should go
chocolate
nicely with tea.
ぜひ
What else
味見したいわ
arrived? Poison
他には何
cheese.
が届いたの
よければ他にもいろいろありますよ地下室からお持ちします
Perhaps it would be faster to simply show you. I can bring everything up from the basement.
まあいいわねせっかくだから私も見に行きたいわ
Ah, yes, please. Oh, or perhaps I should go and see it with you. Would that be alright? I don't know. I'm getting some red flags here.
ええお嬢
More than that would be alright, my lady. I descended into the basement, Alicia leading the way. Once the room was illuminated, I could just make out its stone walls. As a British person, this is realistic. The room was full of preserved food such as wine, cheese, and pickles, and the cold air of the room pricked my cheeks.
そういえば
This is the only part of the mansion that was left intact when the rest burnt down, come to think of it.
この地下室だけは無事に残ったのよねねえアリシアは私の両親のことを聞いたことがある
May I ask something, Alicia? Have you ever been told anything about my mother and father?
申し訳ございません私は何もお嬢様が田舎に移られた時使用人も数は必要ないとその頃お仕えしていた方々も皆暇を出されたそうで
I'm afraid not. In fact, I hear that when you moved to the countryside, all the family's servants were dismissed after being told few would be needed.
ですから私たちは皆その頃のことは知りませんそれにペンデルトン様がそう望まれましたから、
As such, no one amongst the current staff knows anything regarding your life back then, myself included. That is how Pendleton wished it as well.
お嬢様にお仕えするのは当時のことを知らない者の方がいいと
He believes it is better that those who serve you don't know what happened.
そうだったの
Oh. Listening to her story, I found myself blessed to have Pendleton anew. If any of them had known the killer's face the way I did, they would surely be placed in harm's way. Such a thought reminded me of the danger I was still in.
あらこんな扉前からあったかしら
Hmm? Has this always been here? I noticed a small door behind a shelf in the room.
ええ、以前からありますが、この手前の棚に隠れて普段は見えづらいですから。
It has, but it's usually hidden behind the shelf, making it difficult to notice.
アリシア、この扉を開けたことは？
Have you ever opened it before?
いいえ、私たちはその鍵を持っていないので開けたことはありませんが。
Not once. We don't even possess the key to do so. Alicia shook her head, looking slightly puzzled. Meanwhile, my curiosity grew. I couldn't help but wonder what was on the other side.
それよりお嬢様、味見したいチーズはございますか？ほら、たくさんありますよ。
Which of these cheeses would you like to try, my lady? You have plenty of options to choose from. I'll have the cheese that doesn't have poison in it, thank you very much.
まあ、どれもいい香りね。
They all smell scrumptious. I'm gonna be spoiled for choice. Together, we chose some cheese from the available section, and I enjoyed it in the living room of the mansion with some tea. It didn't take long for the existence of that mysterious store to begin to rapidly fade from my memory. Basement key, a key to open a door that leads deep beneath the Whiteley mansion. Huh, we got served food by 2 women today, and neither of them were poisoned. Maybe I can start to believe in a woman again. IDK, poison sounding more and more appetizing. The missing man. It was just past midnight. Harrington Academy was wreathed in silence, still as a graveyard. The front gates were long closed, not a single student to be seen.
眠い。
I'm sleepy.
まったく夜の学
I
園
want the
の
one
巡回
Lynn
なんて
gives me.
面
It's
倒だ
okay if
な
it's poisoned. I'd be happy if it's from Lynn. I'm not a simp.
早く帰って
Gay.
とっとと寝たいよ。
Patrolling an academy at night is, I swear, it's gotta be one of the most worthless jobs. Who would break in here? Only I could go home to my bed. As though to prove him wrong, the guard then heard a suspicious sound from the first floor.
なんだ
What's that
誰
scratching
かにうるさい
noise?
な。
Alright. He raised his lantern and approached the source with a stiffness set in his bones.
誰かいる不審者か
Someone's there. Could it be a burglar? He gripped the lantern till his knuckles were white. He knew that he had to prepare himself for what could turn quite ugly. A deep breath, silence. Then he twisted the handle. A black shadow sprang from the room, racing down the staircase at a speed too great for him to follow.
待て
Wait! The guard unstiffened to stop this figure from escaping, but he was too late. They had already slipped into the darkness.
なんだこれは
What on earth's happened here? The sight within the classroom left him bewildered. It was a sea of white markings, some bold and in short chunks, some light and lengthy, some a mixture of both. Whether they were words or intricate symbols, he could not identify, but found them an eerie sight in that dark, dark room. Are they doing cult shit in here? It was Monday, but the week was already off to a bad start, if the weather had anything to say about it. The sky looked as though it could start raining at any moment.
なんだか今日は天気が悪いわね。
It's looking rather grim, isn't it?
何か悪いことが起こらなければいいけれど。
I do hope this isn't a sign of bad things to come. Don't say that, Emily. That means that bad things are gonna come.
ええ、どうぞお気を
You're
つけて。
getting cursed by the
お嬢
narrative.
様はこの家のご当主。いつ命を狙われるかわかりませんからね。
Indeed. Though you should still take care. As head of the family, you cannot afford to place your life in unnecessary danger.
そうね。
Stupid idiot. Read the script. You're right. I'll I'll be careful.
でもいつ何があってもいいように私も遺書を書いておこうかしら。後々のために。
Girl, what? Perhaps I should sternly consider writing a will just in case. One never knows when such a thing might be needed.
そうですね。自分のメッセージを残しておけばいらぬ争いを防ぐこともできます。
A grim thought, but very true nonetheless. Leaving one would help to avoid needless conflict down the line.
ですがそうならないよう私が必ずお守りします。ご安心ください。
I place emphasis on would. I fully intend to ensure it never comes into play by protecting you myself. Fear not.
そう。
We never know when such a thing might be needed. I mean, you know, when you die. Well, thank you.
そうだわ。私のお父様やお母様は遺書は残していなかったのかしら。
Since we're on the subject, did mother and father leave a will of any kind?
ええ、残念ながら。
I'm afraid they did not. Our conversation was interrupted by the distressing sound of breaking glass farther inside the mansion. What could that have been?
窓ガラスが割れたわけではなさそうですね。
It didn't sound like a window to me.
メイド長のアリシアが今日は朝から鏡の取り替えを行うと言っていましたが、もしや。
Alicia mentioned she was going to work on exchanging that mirror this morning, so perhaps.
申し訳ございません、お嬢様。
Forgive me, my lady! Alicia came running into the room, flustered as one could be.
屋敷の古い鏡を運び出そうとしたら、使用人の不注意で鏡が欠けてしまって。
We were in the process of carrying an old mirror out to the mansion when one of the servants carelessly shattered it to bits.
それよりも誰も怪我はしなかった？
Never mind the mirror. No one was hurt, I hope.
はい、皆で破片を集めているところです。
Thank goodness, no. They're working on gathering the pieces as we speak.
ああ、なんて不吉なんでしょう。早く破片を月明かりの下で地中に埋めないと。
What a terrible omen this is. We'll be certain to bury each piece under the moonlight post haste. After declaring as much, Alicia scurried out the room, each trembling step and wriggle of her shoulders displaying more panic than the last. The fact that the game keeps being like, hey, hi, bad things are gonna happen. Wow, bad things are gonna happen. There better be a murder case this chapter. If you're saying, hey, bad things are gonna happen.
家の鏡が割れて
This
放ってお
is
くと
concerning.
不幸が7年間
They
続
say
くと言
breaking
わ
a
れています
home's mirror comes with its 7 years of bad luck. That,
迷信
that's nothing more than a silly superstition, isn't it? All that matters to me is that no one was hurt.
ですがお嬢様、
Be that as
不幸の
be
種
as
とは
that may,
思
the
わぬ
seeds
と
of
ころに転
misfortune
がってい
can
る
truly
の
be
です
sown when you
どう
least
かご
suspect
注意を
it. I beg you to be careful. Not the bad things.
そうね。
Of course. Feeling a certain degree of unease myself, I set off to school. It hadn't taken long to notice that there was something amiss in my classroom. Oh my. What is all this?
一体
Bad things, like a bowl being taken. Eh? I was left speechless at the sight. From end to end, wall to wall, desk to desk, everything was literally covered in chalk scribblings. Some were made up of English letters, whilst others included seemingly random marks and symbols.
この走り書き暗号かしら。
Could this be a code of sorts?
チョークでこんな
What
走
is
り
the
書きを
culprit
残してい
thinking
くの
by writing over everything like
いたずらに
this?
しては立
For
ち
a
が悪すぎ
prank,
る
this is going too far.
だ
You
誰か
don't
この
think
ク
it
ラス
was
に
the
何
work
が
of
ある人
someone
の
with
仕
a
業でしょう
grudge
か
against this class, do you?
不安はともかく
Writing across the
笛
board
にも
is
書き
one
散らかす
thing,
なんて
perhaps, but the desks?
これは
What
朝
the
から一
deuce
体
is
何の
going on
騒ぎだ
here? Okay, I'll be real. The Tokyo Ghoul ad thing glitching out is just so weird to me. Yeah, I do not like the animation for it. It makes me think like my program's gonna crash because of the glitch. Oh, now this is a sight. The whole room's covered in chalk. Gotta use the chalk, Rudy! Holmes and Watson were as wide-eyed as everyone else who entered. Oh, I'd be fucking sneezing. Next to arrive were Akechi and Kobayashi. According to one of the guards on patrol, happened late in the night at the weekend. He claims he spotted a suspicious man running out of the classroom. Upon further investigation, found the room in this state. His first instinct was that it might have been part of a burglary of sorts, so he reported it to Scotland Yard and had them examine the academy from top to bottom. But no one was able to find anything else out of the ordinary or gone. This room is the only change. By the sound of it, they had gone to question the school's guard immediately after seeing the classroom. I assume Scotland Yard left the room as was to preserve the crime scene. How thoughtful of them. I don't suspect our criminal selected chalk on a whim either. There's very little excess chalk powder, and the writing on the desk is finely printed, indicating great familiarity. We're meant to catch criminals, Akechi, not praise them. Praising them was not my intention in the least. Still, I think we're dealing with a very methodical individual. Despite a sense of urgency in each stroke, the letters are written in orderly lines and are clearly legible. I can read textbooks well enough, but my English reading and writing skills aren't good enough to handle scribble like this yet. The way the letters curl at the end is quite distinctive, thankfully. I feel like I've seen handwriting exactly like this somewhere before. Where was it? Mr. Mackenzie. Mr. Mackenzie. Holmes and Marple, speaking with such snappy unison, spelled the writing on the wall better than any chalk could. I too couldn't help but feel I'd seen this handwriting. Alright, class. In our previous lesson, we covered the cipher used by Mary, Queen of Scots, and her conspirator, Babington, when they exchanged letters. And that's why today, we're to cover a cipher used in a completely different country, France. This one used by Queen Marie Antoinette, to be precise. Take a gander at the blackboard. As you can see, the most distinctive feature of this cipher is that ampersands are used frequently in addition to letters. So he defaced his own classroom? I'm getting kind of worried for Holmes' safety. He's been without Scott the Woz watching his back the whole stream. True! Should really bring Scott the Woz back. I think they might be right. He does have a tendency of curling his letters at their ends when writing on the blackboard. Do I still have that in my scenes? No, I don't. It takes a keen eye to be conscious of unique quirks in your teacher's handwriting. Such a thing occurs as much in English as it does in Japanese, apparently. Akechi wasted no time in jotting down notes. Where is Mr. Mackenzie? He should be here by now, shouldn't he? An obvious thing we missed. As he said that, the school bell chimed to indicate the start of lessons. The classroom door creaked, and we all turned expecting to see him at the doorway.
先生がお休みなので、1限目の授業は自習だそうです。
Mr. Mackenzie is not in, so we're to work on our own for first period. Lupin was standing there, typical meek posture and all instead. He's not in. How peculiar. He's never been absent for a single day since I've been in attendance. The mysteries are piling atop one another by the second.
そういう
ワトソン
Wait a second.
何か思い当たることでも
Is something wrong, Watson?
この前マッケンジー先生もう先が長くないみたいなことを言って
Not wrong, but the other day, he mentioned something about not having very long left.
えそれ本当かよワトさん
What? He said that?
あの時の先生いつも以上に冴えない顔してたよ
He did. He looked even gloomier than usual when he said it.
まさか何者かに命を狙われていた。
What if he's been targeted by someone?
それでこうやって私たちに手がかりを残したっていうの大げさじゃない？
And leave a veritable novel across the walls for us to decipher? It's a bit dramatic, don't you think?
でもこんな大掛かりな
Targeted by
よ
Elio.
ほどの事情があったに違いない。
True. Whatever's happening must be very serious for him to resort to something so drastic.
ルーピン先生はどうして休みなんだ
Did you hear anything, Lupin?
僕もわかりません。でも先生から連絡はないそうですし、まさかひょっとして。
I do know he never contacted the school to say he was gonna be absent, so, don't think it's bad, do you?
落ち着きたまえ。
Calm down, Lupin. Holmes' eyes were focused on the cryptic writing.
マッケンジー先生は僕たちに何かを伝えようとして暗号を残したんだろう。
Mr. Mackenzie must have been trying to tell us something by leaving these messages.
これは事件の可能性も十分に考えられる。
That
慎
said,
重に行動すべ
there's
き
a
だ。
possibility we're dealing with a serious case here. We'd best proceed with caution.
そうね。
You're right. The normally fun, pleasant atmosphere of the classroom had devolved into one of great tension.
でもこのままだとみんなチョークの石灰で制服が真っ白になっちゃうわ。
But leaving things as they are does us no favors. Unless we want to be covered head to toe in chalk by the time we go home.
先にしっかり記録を取って文字を消しましょう。
I propose copying down all the messages and wiping everything down.
記録なら今取ったぜホームズの弁も
I've taken care of that already. Here's a copy for you, Holmes. That was quick. Watson proudly shared a piece of paper with the coded messages copied on.
さすがワトソン君。単調作業ならお手の物だな。
Very impressive, Watson. I'm glad I could count on you for simple tasks like this at least. Bro! That's no way to give thanks to him for doing that. What the fuck?
いちいち引っかかる言い方だよなお前
No one makes a compliment sound like an insult quite like you, my dear friend.
私も控えたわ。
僕も
I
控
made
え
a
ました
copy for myself as
小
well.
林の
As have I. Here's an additional one for your reference, Kobayashi.
ありがとな
Much obliged.
僕も取りました。
I'm finished with mine.
ジャックはちゃんと控えた？
What about you, Jack? Are you finished? The class's gaze centered on Jack, who was sitting at his desk. Don't care.
しっかり書き写
I
した
see
よ
you
うだ
made your
な。
own copy. Ink on your
一年目が
fingers,
始まったばか
despite
りだと
first
いうのに、
period having
ペ
only
ンの
just
インクが
begun,
指に
tells me
染みて
everything I need to know.
仕事が早いな。
Very quick work. He could use a lesson in gratitude, for real.
ホームズ
Sort of,
マジう
Holmes.
ぜ
So true. So true, Jack. Okay, I am starting to have some very bad stomach pain. So, I think I'm gonna end here for the night and go lay down. Oh. Oh, my stomach hurts so much. Ugh. No, Elliot, what did you eat? The pizza I made. Did I cook it wrong? I don't know. Gotta beat up your stomach, yeah. Well, I hope you get well soon. Yeah, thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't listen to the schedule I'm putting a TBA on tomorrow's stream time because today I was supposed to record a thing, which was why today became a TBA. But the people that were gonna be in the recording delayed it to tomorrow. So I'm gonna be streaming after that recording, so it might not be at the time I said I would be streaming. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Have a good night, everyone. And see you guys later.